Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Make Me Smart, where none of us is as smart as all of us. I'm Kimberly Adams, and thank you to everyone who's joining us for our weekly Friday happy hour, Economics on Tap. Whether you're listening on the podcast or joining us for the YouTube live stream, very glad to have you with us this Friday. And because it's Friday, it means that we have a special guest. And joining me today is Yvette Fernandez, who is a regional reporter for the Mountain West News Bureau based in Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome to the show, Yvette.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thanks so much for coming on. We are going to talk about what's happening in Vegas that may or may not stay in Vegas. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist the joke. The Latin Grammys were last night. The city has been having a bit of a tourism slump. But first of all, let's talk drinks. Yvette, what do you have?
Well, I'm having a mocktail. Mocktails are so big here right now, mostly just for the calorie count is why I'm doing it. But here, there's so many bars and restaurants and whatever that have mixologists who try to one up each other and they create these specialty beverages. So I figure, oh, I'm going to make my own specialty beverage. So I just made this.
That's so pretty.
Ready?
What is that?
And add a fraction of the cost too, child. Let me tell you.
Tell me all about it. What's in it?
It's again my own invention. I'm calling it like a sangria spritzer. It's really just a mocktail, wine with just, some tonic water and that kind of a thing. But it looks good,
Yeah. So did you use the non-alcoholic wine? 'Cause I
did.
have some non-alcoholic red wine here as well.
Yeah,
Not
I
that I'm
did.
drinking today,
And
but
then
I
I,
have it.
and then I also bought this other, it's like a tequila alternative, they say, for my margarita.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And, they're getting so creative with their
They're so
marketing.
good now. I've had several of them.
Oh my
What's the
gosh.
marketing?
Like, for example, that says right here, this is the bottle. It's a tequila alternative.
That's ritual, yeah?
For when you're driving, dieting, training, making a baby, taking a break, staying up late, getting up early, or just have stuff to do.
Which is all of us all the time. Makes perfect sense.
Perfect.
Well, I love a DIY mocktail slash cocktail. I did a DIY cocktail today, and I've never tried this exact combo. So I have been drinking a bit of like hot apple cider, and usually I would put bourbon in it, but lately I've been putting cognac in it. And so I've got some hot apple cider with cognac, a cinnamon stick, some cloves, and to jazz it up a little bit, I added some orange bitters to it because I love
Wow.
bitters and putting them in everything. And so
You could be a
Cheers.
mixologist
Welcome to
here.
the show.
Thank you. Salud.
Cheers. Salud.
Yeah, you could be a mixologist
While
here.
I look at, I try. Let's see what folks in the chat are drinking. Oh, everyone's saying that your drink is so pretty. They are very impressed.
It's all about
Davis is having,
presentation.
yes, and I love that you had a garnish. I fully appreciate that. Let's see. Davis has a Negroni, which is a great option. I was out with a friend last night who always drinks mezcal Negronis, which is interesting. Ian has a raspberry cranberry sparkling water. Michelle is having a blueberry berry liquor from Canada on the Island de la Madeleine. That sounds lovely. P. Suda Double Broken Heels Hazy IPA from New Trail Brewing Company. Jim is having a bourbon neat, specifically Bardstown bourbon. I've had that bourbon. Company Origin Series Wheated bourbon aged 6 years and 106 proof.
Wow.
Woo! That's strong. That's strong. All right. And Ronak is having an energy drink since they have a networking event later. So good luck with that. It was a party in Vegas. I mean, I'm sure it's always a party in Vegas, but particularly yesterday because of the Latin Grammys. Did you watch?
I did watch part of it. I fell asleep
What
for
did you
the second
think?
half of it. Well, it was wonderful, actually. It's such a great event. It's a huge event, and I would have liked to have gone, but really, what would have kept me from going was just I don't have a dress that's that fancy. I mean, that's a lot of pressure, but
I'm
no,
sure you could pull off the casual look.
maybe I don't know, but yeah, it's always a wonderful event, and they have so many people that show up for that. But it was a great show, and they had so many people. And the big through line from everybody was that they talked about, the importance of Latin pride. So that was cool to hear
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is happening against the backdrop about the immigration crackdowns across the country. Bad Bunny took home many awards, and there's been a ton of complaints about him at the Super Bowl. But the Latin entertainment industry more broadly has really been affected by this immigration crackdown. And I know you've been reporting on this. You did a story for us for Marketplace. Can you talk about what's been going on, particularly in terms of the entertainment industry?
Yes, I did do a feature about that, and it really shows how the immigration crackdown has had an impact on Spanish language live entertainment, which is particularly impactful, economically, here in the Las Vegas area, especially during September, because September, that's when it's Fiestas Patrias, which it has to do with all the festivities around Mexican Independence Day. So there's always a
I didn't
lot of,
know that.
yeah, Fiestas Patrias are they celebrate them in cities around the country, really. And so they still went on in most cities, like here in Las Vegas, but they were actually canceled in cities like Chicago and in Los Angeles, which we all know there's been an increase in immigration enforcement. But as it relates to the live entertainment, the reason it's been impacted is because the administration has been either revoking or placing on terminal hold the visas of these performers. So obviously, these performers can't make it to the United States to come to some of these places where they're booked to perform, and so then that's caused you know a lot of these events to be canceled. I had an opportunity to talk with the producers of for example, Michelada Fest, which was held in
Hmm.
Chicago, and they had to cancel their weekend event entirely because of that. So it's had a big ripple effect, not just here, but in many cities throughout the country.
We've talked on this show before about sort of the decline in tourism. My colleague David Brancaccio was just there reporting on that a while back, and I know you got to see that whole crew. But how have the businesses you've been talking to been responding to both the immigration crackdown as well as this decline in tourism?
Mhm. There's a couple of things that are at play simultaneously. There's the immigration crackdown, which is having an effect in that arena. And then on the other,
Hmm.
there's also sort of more the political issues that have been going on. So earlier this year, we heard a lot of things from the president that were not received well by people from Canada, for example. So they were pretty upset about that. And those numbers showed in the number of flights that were in and out of Canada, according to Harry Reid International. I mean, they, put this information out and they just talked about a significant decrease in flights in and out of Canada because of that. So you combine that with what's taking place with the immigration situation, and those are the two biggest audiences, if you will, or groups of tourists. Canada, number one visitor, and people from Mexico, number two group of visitors. So both of these together have had a significant impact on the visitorship, if you will, to the Las
Hmm.
Vegas area. And tourism and hospitality is really the economic engine for this state. I mean, it's why the state doesn't have state income taxes. I mean, it's huge, and it's a significant effect. I reached out before knowing I was going to talk with you about this to the LVCVA, which is tracks the numbers, and they were
Is
showing
that the
that
Las Vegas Convention and Visitors
yes,
Bureau?
exactly.
Huh, I'm proud of myself for that.
Visitors authority, exactly. And they were saying that, last year, for example, that they had over 3 million visitors. And since then, that was just in the month of September. And so
Hmm.
for now, this year, they've seen an 8%, almost 9% decrease in visitation. And according to another estimate, it really translates to about $11.5 million deficit just in this quarter, So those are big numbers. Not to say that this isn't still attracting billions and billions of dollars, which it is.
Hmm.
But that's a pretty significant amount, and it does have an impact.
How are the businesses adapting and regular people adapting?
There's also two sides to this coin also. The biggest impact really is along the strip. All the
Hmm.
hotel casinos there, they also released a study talking about how there was a significant drop in the number of rooms that went vacant this summer. And then the CEO of one of the large hotel casinos also said, well, maybe we did kind of go overboard. He kind of issued a statement of, well, mea culpa, maybe we are, maybe we went a little bit too far with raising all the prices. And just to put that
Mm.
into context, that has been the number one complaint by visitors this year is that these strip venues have just been overcharging, like $9 for one of those individual bottles of water. I showed you this drink that I made right here.
Hmm.
This drink, I had a friend who came to visit from out of town, and of course, everybody wants to go
Yeah.
to the strip. And so we went to
Hmm.
a place there, and I tried to order a beverage. They wanted $35 for a drink in a plastic cup. So something like this would probably be about
Wow.
$50, you know. There used to be a time when Las Vegas was known as sort of a budget destination, and people used to
Hmm.
come and they used to offer packages like hotel and a drink or hotel and a meal, that kind of thing. Same thing with people used to want to come to have buffets. Those buffets are
Yeah.
no longer, they're not this 1999 buffets anymore. They're like, there's
Yeah,
only
because they just wanted to keep you in the casino, so they would give you a bunch of stuff, but no longer.
exactly. Now there's maybe just a handful of of buffets, and they're 50 to $100 per person. So it's not this budget thing happening. And just to put it into context, they just had a little event where they
Hmm.
displayed, I don't know if anybody's ever been there. This is called the Neon Museum, and they have what's called the Neon Boneyard. And they
Hmm.
put all these historical things there. So they just relit the signage from the 1970s advertising prime rib for 1999. Like that doesn't exist anymore. So
Would never happen.
no, it doesn't happen. But at the same time, we also spoke with people who or with other venues that are not on the strip. There are some hotel casinos that cater to locals, for example, and they are
Hmm.
doing very well.
Hmm.
So
That makes sense. I mean, yeah.
it's a complete opposite, actually. It's like two different worlds within this same city. Many of them said that they're even having a lot of locals do staycations. So the majority of the rooms are being filled with people who are just staying here because, there's the economic issues that everybody is dealing with on a broader basis. But,
Hmm.
so why not stay at some nice, suite that you can get all the amenities, et cetera.
Treat
So
yourself.
two
Um,
different, two
before
different
we
worlds.
take, yeah, before we take a quick break, where can folks find your reporting and what are you working on next?
Well, they can find it at knpr.org, which is the local station here. And again, like you were saying, but I'm assigned to the Mountain West News Bureau. So you just have to look under there, and that's where we do all the regional reporting. I recently did a talk show segment having to do with elder suicide, which was actually
Hmm.
kind of a sad topic to discuss and how there's such high numbers in the Mountain West. And then right now I'm working on 287G, exploring that, which also has to do with immigration. And it just showing a dramatic increase in how local agencies have signed this agreement to work with the federal government on this immigration effort. So
Yeah,
a
those
lot of
287G agreements are the sort of collaborations between local police departments and federal agencies to do immigration enforcement. You
exactly.
are a busy person. Well, good luck with all of that, but we're going to keep you with us on the show. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Yvette's going to join us for a round of half full, half empty. We'll be right back. All right, Yvette and I are back to play a round of half full, half empty. We have a very special guest today, another very special guest. We have our very own Jay Siebold
Special
hosting
J.
our game.
Siebold, here I am.
Special Jay
Hey.
Siebold. Hey,
Okay,
Jay.
Kimberly, Yvette, here we go. I want to see how in the know you are with today's music scene. Do you two
Oh,
listen to the
God.
R&B singer Zania Monet?
No.
Okay, well,
We both have both on our
maybe
paper.
country. Country music is maybe more your thing. Kane Walker, you must listen to him.
This is going to be embarrassing, Jay. I don't think I'm going to do well at this. Let's just go with
Jeez.
it.
Okay, well, look. Surely you know this one because he's
About
topping the
Motown?
Billboard Country Digital Song Sales charts right now, breaking Rust.
Do you know any of these people?
No?
Yvette?
Come on, he's got that song that's everywhere called Walk My Walk. It's the one that goes, I've lost my friends, made a few new foes, but that's just life, that's how it goes. I ain't bending over just to please the crowd. If I fall down, I fall down proud. Really? You've never heard that one?
You did a good
I've
job
been
with that.
listening to Golden on repeat.
My goodness, you two are super out of touch.
We totally are.
Or,
Yes.
or maybe not.
I'm sorry, I've been monitoring a federal government shutdown. My bad.
Here's the thing. All of these artists, these songs, they're AI generated and they're getting millions of Spotify streams. And the songs really are topping charts, even with their bland lyrics and sometimes disjointed melodies. Are you half full or half empty on Breaking Rust and other AI generated bands making the country music charts?
I am all the way empty on AI generated. Like, I see its purpose in limited circumstances, but definitely not for like the charts and for general consumption. Like, I don't like it. I mean, it's hard enough making a living as a music artist right now. I mean, they don't need this. What
I
do you
have to
think of
agree.
it?
I have to agree with you. I'm not down with that. I mean, I think that there's a certain there's some a respect for artistry, what really comes
Hmm.
from within that individual, what they created. And I get, yes, computers and AI and all of that can help with research, can help with augmenting certain sounds and certain things that we wouldn't just hear organically. But it can't take the
Hmm.
place of that organic artistry that comes from within an individual who's creating something. And that's how I feel.
Something that comes from your soul.
Right.
Speaking of which, Greta said in the chat, so empty, I'm inside out. Yes, that's where I land on that one. What's the next one, Jay?
All right, so Thanksgiving is upon us, just about. It's a time for food, for family, for football, a time for your uncles getting into an all out brawl on the front lawn for no apparent reason. And for a young Seabold boy, Thanksgiving also meant looking ahead to the next holiday, checking Grandma's mailbox, rifling through the endless, explosively colorful pages of the Toys R Us holiday toy catalog. I'd
Yes.
circle every wished-for Lego set and WWE action figure in bright red ink, just hoping my grandparents would, get the hint.
Wasn't it WWF back then?
You know what?
I knew that.
You got me. But here's what's happened in the years since then. Toys R Us has filed for bankruptcy, and mailed
Right.
Christmas catalogs became kind of a thing of the pre-Amazon past. But big brands are feeling a little nostalgic. Walmart, Nordstrom, J. Crew, they're stuffing mailboxes again. Even Amazon sends out printed holiday guides complete with QR codes for easy scanning and buying. So, are you half full or half empty on the mailed catalog comeback?
What do you think of it?
I'm half full on that, actually. I like that. I like you get so much stuff in
Hmm.
your inbox, and half the time it's like I'm mass deleting. And I would just rather see something that it just stands out. And if there's a way that it could be, maybe you do want to actually print it, and take a look at it and go
Hmm.
do some comparison shopping. I want something that looks like this or whatever. I mean, I think that's great. It sort of brings it back. But there's nothing like when you want to buy something, then you need to touch it, like feel the fabric of it, see the craftsmanship of, how it's sewn together, or, some kind of how the way the button is put on there. I mean, it doesn't take the place of that.
I am really torn on this one because I like catalogs. I have fond nostalgic memories like Jay, but I would be going through and circling things, and the J.C. Penney catalog was my jam when I was a kid. And I definitely like have fond memories of that, and it's kind of like the lookbooks and the inspiration. On the other hand, it's not great for the environment, and anything kind of pushing the rampant consumerism that is destroying our planet and some ways our economy is not great. But I'm gonna have to say half full on the nostalgia. Sorry.
All right, well, let's move on to the next one here. And look, I don't even have anything for this. I am just so tired of hearing about it. This week, the U.S. Mint printed its last batch of pennies. It's done. Over with. Finished. So, half full or half empty?
I mean, from the economic perspective, I get it, because didn't it cost like 3.6 cents or something like that to actually make a penny worth 1 cent? Like, it does not make sense. And I imagine if we dug up all the pennies in circulation, we'd probably have enough. But then it gets to the rounding stuff. And are they going to be rounding up or rounding down? And who's going to benefit? And where does that money, do the cents just disappear in our economy? Like, I don't know. I'm going to think about this some more. What do you think of it?
That's exactly it. It doesn't make sense to make the cent, right? From an economic.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Thank you. From an economic perspective, and I get that, but that's exactly my question is, right now when we're all struggling to make ends meet, with so many things just being more costly. I mean, they've already been talking about that. They are going to round up, of course, and they're also saying that the nickel also could be on the chopping block, if you will, because that costs more to make the nickel than 5 cents. So then now we're talking about rounding up to 10 cents. I mean, and what's next? To your point, why don't we just forget about the cents? There's just going to be the next dollar. It makes it more expensive.
Several people are pointing out in the chat that, we used to have a half cent that we don't have anymore, and we successfully phased it out. That makes sense, with inflation. These sort of micro portions of currency were no longer necessary as prices rose over time. So I'm going to have to say half full. I can't quite make the economic logic for keeping it maintain any kind of meaningful point. What do you think?
I agree with that. I can understand that. I just wish that they would also apply that to, things like taxes and things that we pay for, why don't we get a break as well? I'm always going to be routing for the people.
For the people. All right, Jay, for the people, is it time for the poll?
For the people, it's time for the poll.
All right, everybody in the YouTube chat, get ready to vote. While you're there, if you don't mind liking and subscribing if you haven't already, we'd appreciate it. What you got, Jay?
Okay, a quick game of charades for you. Guess who I am? Ding, ding, ding. I will give you another hint here. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Any guesses?
A doorbell?
I was going to say an alarm.
I'm your phone. I'm your phone, notifying you all day long who texted you, who emailed you, who liked the Instagram picture of your dog and your cat cuddling each other. I'm your phone. Now, many people feel smartphones have taken over their lives, increased their anxiety, feelings of isolation, and there's a growing movement to disconnect. You can buy dumb phones now that only do the basics: call, text, navigation, no fun stuff. There are apps, too, that help you lessen your screen time. And they often use the same tactics to get you off your phone as social media companies use to keep you doom scrolling. But these apps will cost you, in some cases, up to $60. So, are you half full or half empty on paying for a service to help break a smartphone addiction?
I actually have a friend who has a couple of these apps on her phone, and I've seen her use them where she has to like jump through all of these hoops in order to use her phone because it's designed to sort of block you out from using your phone unless it's absolutely necessary. And I don't know, man. I work in news. I gotta know what's going on. I have this is a terrible story, but one time I decided to take like a technology break and I was on vacation and I turned off all my notifications. I removed Twitter at the time from my phone. I removed Slack from my phone. I uninstalled my email. Nothing. I had nothing. And I was taking my cat to the vet and my mother starts calling me frantically because that was the day that some people decided to attack the Capitol. And had no idea what was happening in the town. And I was seeing all these like National Guard zooming down the street, people walking around in body armor, and I didn't know what was happening because I had taken all my notifications off my phone. And never quite recovered from that. It's not funny, I know, but
But you were at such peace for however long that was, weren't you, on that very day?
yeah, until the Uber driver was like, "How come people keep getting into my car with crowbars and hammers?" And I was like, "I don't know." Okay, notifications and dumb phones. I mean, the phone addictions are real and definitely distracting. I'm leaning one direction on this, but I want to hear your thoughts of it.
You know, I understand that. I definitely, you see people doing that all the time. But I just feel like, do you really need that? I mean, you just say no, basically. Just turn away from it, just talk to your friend or your neighbor. Do you, is it, I just don't see how it's that hard. I understand being connected and being in the know and trying to stay with it, having all the latest information. But I just feel like all you have to really do is just decide that I don't have to have that right now, And if you really need to do that, it's not that you don't need to pay for a service. I mean, I think about the other day when I was at this Halloween party, and this guy had all this stuff on his face. And the thing that he said was so funny. He was like, "Do you know how hard it is to use your phone when your phone doesn't recognize your face?"
I still use a passcode to
Yeah,
get into my phone. I
you don't have
have
to
seen
pay.
too many horror stories of what happens when you leave on the facial recognition for unlocking your phone. But anyway, are you half full or half empty, Yvette,
Half
on
empty with that.
paying for a service to get you off the phone? I'm guessing you're half empty.
Half empty on that. Just no, just go to Halloween. That's it.
I'm going to say half empty also because I think phones come with a lot of features already to help you do this anyway. So I'm going to say half empty on paying for it. The crowd, 75% half empty on paying for a service to get you off your phone. 25% are half full. Thanks everybody for voting. All right, that is it for half full, half empty. But today we actually have a bonus game. And Artax apparently wants to play. Marketplace is launching a weekly news quiz. So every Friday, you're going to be able to test your knowledge from the week of our coverage across Marketplace shows. And you can find the quiz at marketplace.org/quiz. That's marketplace.org/quiz. And I'm going to read you a couple of questions from this week's quiz, but if you want the answers, you're going to have to go over there and take the quiz yourself to find out the answer. So, one of the questions that was on the quiz today, what's been happening with housing this holiday season? Number 1, a decrease in open house visits. Number 2, an increase in mortgage applications. Or number 3, a surge in rental property demand. You can go to marketplace.org/quiz to take the whole thing, and we're going to have a link to that in our show notes. That is a wrap for this Friday. Yvette Fernandez, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
I'm glad you had a good time. We got to have you back. That is going to be it. We are going to be back next week. In the meantime, you can email us at makemesmart@marketplace.org or leave us a voicemail at 508-UB-SMART with your questions, your comments. We want to celebrate your wins. In the meantime, have a great weekend, everybody. We have a nice little bouncy end theme too, Yvette.
Nice.
Make Me Smart is produced by Courtney Bergseeker. Today's episode was engineered by Charlton Thorpe, and the team behind the YouTube live stream is Emily McCune and Antoinette Brock. Our interim supervisory senior producer is Stephanie Seek. Nancy Fargali is executive producer of Marketplace Shows, and Joanne Griffith is our chief content officer. I'm sad we didn't get to see your dog Maya. Let me see if I can get my cat to show up. Where's the cat? Oh, he's not around. I'll show him to you another time.